Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we're going to learn how to use the filter function in Python. So the filter function is quite useful, and especially when you have, for example, a sequence, maybe a list or a string or a dictionary or a tuple or anything like that, and you'd like to check whether some elements, or you'd like to actually pull out or filter out the elements that meet a certain condition. If you have that case, then the filter function is what you'd like to use. So the filter function, it applies a function f to all elements in a sequence. S, the function should return, of course, true or false, so if the element meets that condition or not. In Python 3, the return value was a list that contains only the elements of the sequence for which the function returns true. Sorry, this here says return true. It should say return true. In Python 3, it returns an iterator. So if we want it to be a list, then we have to explicitly convert it to a list. Let's have an example here. I have this simple function here that says is element string. So I have a sequence that maybe contains integers, floats, strings, and so on and so forth. And I'd like to check each element whether if it's a string or not. And I say here if is instance x of string, so check the element x whether it's an instance of string or not. If true, then return true, otherwise return false. If I do that, and I have a simple list here of maybe a few integers and a couple of strings, let's change this maybe to a string so it becomes more obvious. Run that, and now I run my filter, notice, and I explicitly convert the result to a list. Filter, I pass it my function, and I pass it my sequence, run it, and I get a list of 2 and string. So it pulls out the 2 elements that meet the condition. Right? Like we said before, it actually returns an iterator, so we can save the iterator and loop through it. And you can see here, I'm actually hitting 2 birds with 1 stone, as they say. I'm using a lambda function, so it's instance x string, and passing it my list. If I do that and then loop through the iterator, then I get 2 and string. I hope the idea makes sense here. Another application maybe is to apply it to a string. So I have this string, for example, and I'd like to check each character of the string, whether it's capital or small. So I say here def is capital. This is my simple function. I pass it a string element, so one element at a time, i.e. one character at a time. If string dot is upper, I call it string. You can call this anything. You can call it, for example, s, and use the method is upper. And string, if it's uppercase, i.e. capital, then return true, otherwise return false. And then from this string here, when we apply the function using filter and convert the result into a list, we should get a list of the capital letters in this string here. So it should be T, 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 R. Let's have a look, and the string has T, 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 R. Likewise, we can also use the filter function for example, dictionaries. I check here a dictionary whether the keys are strings or not. So I use the isInstance function that we used before to check an element or whether a given variable is a string or not. Return true if it's a string, return false if not. And one thing you need to pay attention to here is that when we actually loop through the dictionary, we are looping through the keys, not the values. So here the function will be applied to the keys, not the values. I declare my dictionary, so 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So one time I write the word, another time I put the digit, as you can see here. That's my dictionary. Apply the function, I get 1 and 3 because the key here is string and here is string. Otherwise, here it's an integer and here is an integer. Same thing for tuples. We loop through the contents of a tuple element, one element at a time, and apply the function. I declare here my tuple equals Libya, China, 21337634. Libya, that's where I'm from, by the way. And here I apply my the same function before is element string, which is we declared and used previously. This one here, this one here. If I run that, I get a list. Notice again I convert into a list, and I get Libya and China. Again, just a simple repetition that we can also use a lambda function, so lambda e, and then check the element e if it's an instance of a string, run it on my tuple, and get the exact same result because we're converting it explicitly into a list. I'm sorry I took a bit longer than I wanted this time, but hopefully the idea makes sense and you're going to be finding it useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.